Hello, Kris Bryant here. Welcome to Patreon, where tonight I have the fabulous Georgia Beers.
Hello.
Thank you for spending your evening with us.
Thanks for having me. It's not like I have a huge busy schedule of things to do.
It took a long time to fit you in the schedule for sure.
Right? It's kind of nice to actually have something on my calendar.
Yay.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking something that I just found out I'm using the wrong liquor on. I'm drinking, I think it's Aviator from, what's it called, Bartesian?
Artesian, yep.
Yeah. So I didn't switch out my gin and rum, so I'm drinking this with rum instead of gin. So it's purple and it's still really tasty. What about you?
I am having an old fashioned, also from my Bartesian. It's dark because I use those cherries and I put like too many in because I really like cherries. So there's like 4 cherries in there.
It's like dessert and drinks all at once.
Exactly. So I'm going to try to sip that slowly.
So I saw a tail. So you have Emmett with you.
See if you can see him here.
Yeah. Aw, he's all curled up. So he is from a shelter.
He is, yes. I adopted him last year. Actually, his gotcha day is coming up in 2 weeks.
I love that.
Yes, so I've had him almost a year.
That's amazing. I can't believe that.
5.
He's beautiful. I'm jealous.
Yep, I know it. It's crazy. It's a great jackpot. I hit the cat jackpot.
Yeah, and good for you for a 5-year-old cat.
Very lucky with him. Yeah. Well, I wanted something that was going to cuddle with me, and all over his paperwork, it was all affectionate, lovable, playful, just wants to be in your lap. And I was like, that's my cat. But see, I'm going to be doing this a lot because I get cat hair on my nose. Not allergic, but it makes me itchy a little bit, just like irritated. So see, my nose is red already. Okay. So
I thought maybe it was the old fashioned, but I guess not. I guess it's the cat. We'll blame the cat.
It's the cat
for the redness.
No, this is because this is the only alcohol I've had, and I've had this much of it, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? I don't have tan because didn't really go outside much in the summer, so I'm very pale. So any kind of red makes me really.
I'm almost translucent, so by the end of this, I should have a little bit of blush right here on both my cheeks. So. So we have questions. People have sent in questions, and I have a list here. And we have a ton of questions, so I don't think we'll get to them all. Okay. But we'll get started. And they're all random, so it's almost like who knows? It's going to be all over the place. First of all,
them too.
I'm sorry. Oh, you think I should?
I think there will be a few where I will say, "What about you?" So it's not just me like blathering on. Nobody wants to listen to me talk endlessly. Trust me.
Of course they do. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. I have really bad lighting in here, so I'm gonna have to tilt it because I'm of that age, and I have the readers on where it has to be at the exact right distance. Yes, I'm doing that now. Damn it. Okay, name useless talents that we don't know about. What are some talents of yours?
That's an interesting one. Useless talent. I'm an excellent snow shoveler, but I guess that's not really useless. I'm good at arranging dishes in cupboards.
Really?
Yeah, like when I moved in and set up my kitchen, my mom helped me, but I haven't.
You did it all wrong.
I haven't rearranged it since I moved in, and we put everything. You know how you start to like get used to your kitchen, and you're like, well, this should be over here. I haven't moved a thing.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think I do a pretty good job with that. I slide really well on my floor in my socks.
Oh, can I tell you my story?
Yes.
Okay. So if you know me, some people do, a lot of you know, I have a really big scar right under my lip. Mm-hmm. And it's because when I was little, I think it was 5, I discovered that the old-fashioned house slippers, the plastic bottoms and they were pink, they were plastic bottoms and fuzzy, fluffy tops. Mm-hmm. Well, they slid really well on the carpet, but they did a much better job when you sprayed furniture polish on the bottoms.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
So I So I sprayed furniture polish on the bottom of my house slippers and I slid around the house. And this was in the 70s. And my parents had the fake black leather couch with the wooden armrests and like the sharp edges.
Going.
Yeah. So I fell and my teeth went through my lip.
Ow.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
so I'm a good slider too.
my whole townhouse is this dark hardwood. And Emmett, my cat, loves to play with his jingle balls. He bats them around. And so we play soccer. And so I slide after them on my socks, and then I kick them to him, and then he kicks them back to me, and I slide around, and it works really well.
So do you ever spin them like a spin the bottle type? Do you ever do that to your cat? Or is that just me?
Laying on his side, I have.
Yeah,
yes.
or on the back.
Really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy it, but
as much as I do.
I do too. That's awful. But but it's playful and it's not. See, I'm so jealous.
Writing. Yeah, he tucks his little head under. He puts his arm out over my stomach. He's so cute.
Do you play with his ears when he's sleeping? Just rub his little ears?
I try to, but he doesn't. He like shakes his head.
Oh, he doesn't like it. Okay, no. Don't do that.
He lets me touch all of him though. I can play with his feet. I can play
that's
with his
good.
tail. He doesn't swat at me. He's very soft.
Do you ever kiss his nose?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I hold his face in my hand and I do this on his face. And he lets me. He just closes his eyes and he lets me pet him. He's adorable.
I'm so jealous. What's next? 2 baby kittens. What's next for me? Okay, so this is important because this weekend is the Super Bowl. And as you know, my team beat your team to make it to the Super Bowl. Sorry, not sorry.
All right. It was a good game.
It was a good game. And I'm surprised we won, to be honest. I'm completely surprised that the Chiefs won. But if you had a 30-second advertising slot during the Super Bowl, what would you advertise? Are you there?
Well, it would have to be something to do with animals.
Oh, that's a good one. I was being selfish. I'm like, lesbian romance. Animals, I like that.
No.
Okay.
I think I would all of the funny, hilarious Super Bowl commercials, but then there's usually one that makes you go, oh. So I would want that one. So it would have to do with animals. I don't know exactly what the product would be. Maybe just love. Could you advertise love?
Let's advertise it.
Yeah. Kindness. Just one of those, like, be kind. Just be nice to people, you jerks.
Yeah, right. Especially now, because it's ugly out there. It's very ugly. Even after the election and the whole results and finally getting Biden in the White House, people are still ugly.
They are.
That's awful.
I saw today that there was a supermarket in Florida and nobody was wearing a mask. Like, they panned the cash registers and none of the cashiers and none of the customers, nobody had a mask on.
That's crazy to me. Like, I'm rude to people when they don't wear a mask around me. I'm downright. I won't let them in my office at work. It's like, no. And everybody knows that, I'm doing a lot with my parents and I get them stuff and take them to their appointments. And they know that, like, not to even get within 10 feet of me without a mask on, just because I can be ugly when I have to be. And so, and my parents, like, Missouri is the last state to, like, have any sort of organized structure for, giving out the vaccines. My parents are over 75 and they can't get the vaccine. It's ridiculous. And our mayor is
trying to get an appointment is like trying to score concert tickets to, it's awful. I can't get one for my dad either.
That's ridiculous. It's like our mayor is down in Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl. I'm like, dude, like, we need help up here. We need to have some sort of organization on how to do this. And he's down there. I mean, I get it. The Super Bowl is important, but I mean, we're kind of in a pandemic, and the Super Bowl, you can watch it anywhere. It doesn't have to be watched in person. Exactly. So I'm a little pissed at him right now, and which is sad because I normally like him, but I seem to always tweet bad things about him. I should probably be nicer, but that's the power of Twitter. It can make you say whatever you want to whomever you want at any given time.
Yep.
So apparently I'm not super happy with him. Okay, so another question is, if you could meet any fictional character of any genre, who would you want to meet and why? Even one of your own characters.
These are so hard for me, these kinds of questions. The whole, who would you have dinner with? If it could be so many people to choose from.
I know.
Fictional character. I mean, I'd have to go with like, you know what? It would be Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah, with Nancy Drew. She got me through my childhood.
I actually, now that you think about it, who got me through my childhood was Trixie Belle and Honey.
Trixie Belle was the other one for me. But I liked Nancy better because I had a little crush on her. I'm sure of it.
I think I probably crushed on Honey. Because Trixie was kind of the as bad as I want to label this, and we just had a huge thing about labeling people. Trixie Belle was kind of butch to me, and Honey was kind of her femme friend, really delicate. And I crushed on Honey. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I had a lot of Nancy Drew books. My grandmother would keep a list in her purse of the ones that I had. Aww. Every Christmas, she would buy me 2 or 3 more. And every birthday, she would buy me 2 or 3 more.
That's sweet.
And I loved them. And then when it was on TV and it was Pamela Sue Martin, I watched the Nancy Drew Files or Nancy Drew, whatever they were, the Nancy Drew and Hardy Boy Mysteries, which were on Sunday nights. And I even watched the Nancy Drew that's on now.
I was just going to ask you that.
Who's hot?
She kind of reminds me of Trixie.
She's hot. That girlfriend Nancy Drew is hot.
She's cute. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have a hard time with those questions.
Also be your mother, so I got to be careful.
I always do that. Somebody's like, "Oh, she's really cute." I'm like, I could be her grandmother.
Yeah, well, and that's happening to me now. It used to be I can almost be her mother. And then there was somebody on TV the other day who was 30, and I did the math and I thought to myself, I could have a 30-year-old child and I wouldn't have even had to have a teenage pregnancy.
Right.
I don't like that.
I know. I'm really careful now who I say is attractive. For that reason, I'm like, how old are they? 21? Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't. Yeah, I know. And they're cute and everything. It's just, maybe I wish I was 20 years younger, maybe, it'd be different, but yeah, that's one of those things. Okay. Okay. So how are you with accents? Can you do any accents?
I really am not good at accents. I think I am, but then I try to do it and it doesn't work. But I'm good at like understanding them.
Oh,
like, because sometimes Irish accents are tough or really thick Scottish accents. I remember when Bonnie and I went to New Zealand years ago, she has trouble with accents. And we were at a gas station and the guy was talking to her and she just looked at me. She just looked at me and she's like, I said, he wants to know if you want your oil checked. And she was like, oh, no. So like, I have no problem understanding, but some people do. So I'm not good with the talking, with the having my own accent, but I can understand them and I can recognize them.
That's good.
That's the difference between English, Australian, New Zealand, Irish, and Scottish. I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, when I watch movies, like if they have an accent, I can totally follow what they're saying.
Yeah,
it's not a problem for me. And people I'm watching the movie with, they've checked out because they don't understand what's going on. What they say. I'm like, I'm listening.
That's what subtitles are for.
Yes.
I think it's an old person thing, but I have mine on like a lot now.
Really?
Well, because there's noise in the house, and if Emma's playing with his jingle balls and I can't hear anything, then it's good. And I watch a lot of foreign stuff anyway, so I'm kind of used to them.
So this is funny. Speaking of foreign things, so my dad, we're all home. We're home 24/7. My dad is like, hey, I really need you to watch this show. And I'm like, what is it? And it's like some Korean soap opera he wanted me to watch. And I'm like, Dad, and he's like, just read the subtitles. I'm like, Dad, there's like 1,200 other things I need to watch before I get down to this level. So my dad is like, that's all he does is he watches TV. And so he lets me know anything that's new and exciting and my dad was always, he's always kind of like a macho man. Yeah. So he never wanted to watch any foreign films. And now he's like a buff. He's like, oh, this is great. You need to watch this movie. Just watch the subtitles. Just, turn those on.
Yeah. I watch a lot of foreign stuff. Yeah. It's funny. I was thinking of, you know, that I'm a huge Friends fan, and I was thinking of Joey talking about accents, and he says that he can do a Southern accent really well. And then he goes, I can do a Southern accent, man. Like he launches into Jamaican. You're just like, that would be me.
That would be, yeah, it's funny. I'll start a certain way, and then it'll turn into something else. And also I have a really bad habit, and I've said this before, I have a really bad habit of wherever I am, I will start talking like them. And not because I'm making fun of them, but because something happens and I feel like to communicate with them, I need to talk like them, really.
Yeah, but they think you're making fun of them, so don't do
yes,
that.
I know. And that was really bad in Ireland. Like after 4 days, I had like the worst Irish accent, and I didn't even realize it until I got out of Ireland. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder they hate Americans. I'm like the reason why. So yeah. Yeah, so accents are fun. I like listening to them. Of course, I write a lot of books that have characters with accents because I find accents very sexy. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, one of my editors, you know, Shelley Thrasher, she's got the most Southern accent in the world, and it's a slow Southern belle accent. Yeah. And you're like, 12 minutes later, you're waiting for her to finish her sentence, you know, she draws everything. What are you trying to say? So, but I love accents, I really do. And she has a wonderful one. And I can't help but when she starts talking to me, I always talk back, and it's horrible. I really have to break myself of that.
Southern accents are really easy to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Oh, I like this question a lot because, and I've given it zero thought, but I think it's a very excellent question. If you could have personally witnessed anything in history, what would it be? And I know this is kind of like, you know, the whole, if you could have dinner with somebody, blah, 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 who would it be? But I mean, think about how many important events in history we've had. And
there's so much. I mean, there's big stuff and there's little stuff. I would love to have seen the Berlin Wall come down.
Okay, we were alive during that.
What?
We were alive during that time.
Right, but to be there.
Oh, you know to be in person, yeah.
I would have liked to see the Great Wall of China being built. I would have liked to have seen, and then there's like stupid stuff. Like I would have liked to see was it 1984, the hockey team, the Miracle American
1980?
Hockey?
Yeah.
80, yes. I would have liked to have been in the audience for that. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to see records broken. There's so much to choose from. I would like to have seen a man walk on the moon. I would like to have been in there. I'm not interested in space at all, mm-hmm. but it would have been really cool to be there.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's just so much. There's so much. I'm not a history buff, but there are so many hugely important things that happened.
Right now on Netflix, there's The Challenger. There's like
I remember that.
Yes. So one of my teachers was a finalist, or like there were over, I think, there's like a series, there's like a 4-part series, and Paula told me, hey, you have to watch this. Mm-hmm. And I had just seen something about The Challenger not too long ago. And so there were like almost 11,000 entries, and then there were finalists, 114 finalists. And my science teacher, Kent Kavanaugh, was a finalist from Missouri. Yeah. So, of course, it was a big deal, and we had it on the school. Everybody was watching it at school. So I remember that. I'm still getting chills just thinking about it. Yep. So, but my parents were in California. They missed the first one because we were overseas. But the second landing, I think it was the Columbia or the Challenger? I can't remember. But it was the second space shuttle landing. My parents saw it. And I thought, how incredible that must be. I mean, there was such a, you know, even though that program has ended, and rightfully so, because, you know, the 2 tragic events had happened, but what an amazing thing to experience. I mean, I'm the same way. I love space and the things that we've done. And like, we can shoot a rover to Mars, but, you know, we can't get my order right from, you know, like Amazon or whatever. It's amazing, you know, what we can do. And, you know, just humanity and humankind, they're impressive, and it's just amazing what we've done throughout history, throughout everything we've invented things. like the telephone and airplanes and everything, how to communicate. And it's amazing. Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't narrow that question down either.
It's tough. There's so
That's
much.
a horrible question.
And then you think of something and you're like, is that stupid? Because there's so many bigger things, you know?
Right.
You can't really narrow that down.
And you don't know like what events in life have happened that have changed other things, you know, what happened like in 1400, if that changed, you know, something that happened in 1800. And so like, I love history. I actually minored in it in college, history. And yeah, I love everything about it. And yet we never learn from history. It is a true saying. We never learn. And I don't know why we don't. We're so smart, but yet we're so stubborn and just sometimes ignorant. I don't know what the question, I don't know.
History repeats itself.
It does. And I hate that saying, but it's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. What's the longest you've ever gone without sleep?
They had to be college, had to be an all-nighter. So 24, 36 hours. I can't, I'm good with no sleep. I was up at 3:30 today. I've been up since 3:30.
Wow.
But if I'm busy, I'm good with that. As I've gotten older, not so much, because I fall asleep. But I think the longest was just probably an all-nighter.
I feel like when we were at GCLS, like I didn't sleep hardly at all. Like I know for a fact I was up for 48 hours straight in Vegas. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah. I remember because I tried to go to sleep, and you know,
I'm
plus
miserable when
you know, sleep is very important. I don't think people realize how important it is until you don't get it. But I'm so used to, you know, I struggle with sleep anyway. And so in Vegas, it was funny. I went to bed at 3 and I couldn't sleep. So then I was like on Facebook or something at like 5, just kind of looking around, and somebody was like, "Oh, I'm up. I'm on California time. This is what time I get up." So I'm like, "Hey, I'll meet you for breakfast." And so we had breakfast because like, I hate being in a hotel room, especially in Vegas. You know, I'd much rather be out and about, and we have such a short time together. All of us do. And it's just, and it's hard to, you know, figure out when and where you're going to spend time with this person or that person. It's just really hard. So I feel like I always sleep, you know, I can get sleep later. So yeah, so I don't, I wish I was smarter because I could be a doctor and I'd be a killer doctor because I don't need sleep. So think about that, you know, if I could like do surgeries, I'd be like a super
I don't want you operating on me if you haven't slept. I don't care how good you are.
I'm such a delight. I don't get affected by sleep. Like if I don't get sleep, I don't like get cranky or like, oh, I got to go sleep. It's not like that because I'm so used to not getting it that when I get it, it's nice and I enjoy it. But for the most part, it doesn't happen. Okay.
I got myself an Apple Watch recently. And part of what I like about the Apple Watch slept, and it like there's it's almost like a little graph, and it shows you like it gets lighter when you were awake and then it gets darker. And if you have like uninterrupted darkness, you slept really well, but I never have that.
I never had that at all.
There's always lines through it, like through the whole night.
Yeah, I take medicine to sleep because if I don't,
I'm recently off of mine. I took 2 different ones, and I've been struggling with my weight and menopause and hot flashes. And so I took myself off of everything just to see if I slept a little better. And I've been doing okay.
So I have the COVID-20. They call it 19, but it's more like 20.
It's awful.
It's horrible. And then, you know,
I have Peloton. I don't know what I would do. I am on that thing every single day.
I feel like, okay, I've put on the 20 pounds. I feel like I'll be able to knock that out, you know, not realizing, okay, I'm at that age where it doesn't really fall off like it used to. You know, I used to be able to like 2 weeks, I need to lose 10 pounds, no problem, you know, and I'm not there. And I still eat like I'm there.
It's awful. I can stop eating. It still doesn't change anything. That's what's making me so angry. Like,
I haven't stopped
what
eating.
I do or what I change, nothing happens. It's so frustrating.
I think the whole world's in this situation, and I feel like, you know, 12 is the new 6. You know what I mean? Because like we're all there. We're all there. So I feel like it's okay. It's okay that I have this Twinkie or whatever. So, or dessert. God, I love dessert.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Okay, so trapped in a TV show for a month. Which one? And you can't pick Friends.
It's Friends. I'm picking
It's
Friends.
not Friends. You can't.
It is Friends. I am picking Friends. You can't tell me I can't
You
pick
can't pick Friends.
I'm picking Friends.
I'm saying
My
like let's
show. I recite all of the lines. My niece just turned 23, and she and I will just text quotes to each other so that we know which episode we're watching. And it's so much fun. And I will tell you that last Christmas, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, we were all at my mom's house. This was, before COVID. And she got a Friends trivia card game for Christmas. And Bonnie opened it up. And Allison and I stood in the kitchen, and Bonnie went through every last card. And Allison and I answered them all. We got there must have been 150 questions, and Allison and I got 3 of them wrong. It was awesome.
I know I've seen it. Oh, so here's a question from one of the readers. They actually, or one of the patrons, they asked, what is your favorite Friends episode?
My favorite Friends episode is the one with the videotape. It's the episode where it's just brilliantly written because it all comes full circle. It's the episode where they find out that when Ross and Rachel spent the night together and Rachel got pregnant, there's a videotape of it. So they argue about who came on to who. And Rachel says Ross came on to her, and Ross says Rachel came on to him. And then they watch the videotape to find out the answer. That is my favorite one, just because of the way it comes full circle. There are so many good ones, but that's my favorite.
Yeah. And I will admit, you and I, we've talked about Friends in the past. We've had serious conversations about it. And I will say that when it is on, I will watch it just because it is nostalgic. It's from back when I was young and I was around their age when we were watching it. And so it was relevant at the time. I think, things have changed and things are different. And so some of it's kind of offensive. Sorry. I know you love it, but we've talked about it. Yeah.
The fat shaming is awful.
Right. Fat shaming, be homophobic is shaming, but whatever.
Because it's a little homophobic, but it also had the first lesbian wedding on TV. And there were jokes about it, but I will tell you that the character of Susan was one of the best written characters because she had the most zingers. Plus, it was Jessica Hecht, who has a Tony Award.
But still, okay, so the lesbian portion is fine because you know how the whole concept is, oh, lesbians, oh, let's watch them, That's just the way it is. And it was on that show too, 100%. Joey, Chandler, anybody, anytime there was lesbians, they were like, oh, let's watch them. But gays,
it wasn't because they talked a lot. They would joke a lot about Chandler being gay and being not gay, but it was not always offensive. It was just, he never got mad about it.
No, but Joey, you could tell Joey, there were several episodes where Joey's like, oh, no, I'm not gay. Oh my God, no. Oh, it's kind of like that, yeah.
It's true.
So there was
one episode where Ross kisses him because he auditioned for a gay role. And he was like, okay, that was a good kiss. So it really does. But there were definite problems. There were absolutely problems.
I feel the same about Will and Grace. It was fantastic when it came on the first time. I thought it was groundbreaking, it was late 1990s or something. And I thought it was brilliant. And then watching those episodes now that I have 20 years under my belt and watching and going back and watching the episodes, and I just don't think they were as funny. They are as funny now as they were back then, because of course we've changed as a society and what's accepted. And we have, so many movements now. And so,
I will also say that with both Will and Grace and Modern Family, which I loved.
Yes.
Whenever there is a main character couple that is male, they're not very nice about lesbians.
Right. Or themselves. In Modern Family, like Cameron and
every lesbian on Will and Grace, every lesbian flannel shirt wearing, canoe in the kitchen, woodworking, it was all
right.
Always very stereotypical stereotypical. And that used to tick me off. We exist too, but
Right.
it was the gay guys and their straight women friends. So whatever.
I know. So, okay.
And then, we have the L word and everybody's like, oh, they're all too pretty. So we can't ever win. Lesbians are fickle.
We want, and then we get it, and we're
never satisfied.
Right. We are never satisfied, for sure. Your words have never been
the happiest season. We love it. We hate it.
That's so true. It is so true. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's one. This is kind of fun. Have you ever been in a food fight?
Okay. I've never been in a food fight.
Either, and I don't know why. Why?
That would be fun. Well, because we're not in food fights because we would have to actually clean it up.
Sure.
If somebody else was going to clean it, I would totally be in a food fight.
I'd have to put my hair up. Like, let me know when we're going to have this food fight.
I think about the food fight. I think about the one in fried green tomatoes. And how much fun that was because there were other people who would clean it up afterwards.
Right.
You can't throw flour around the kitchen. You just can't.
It takes forever. I dropped a smoothie last night. I dropped a vanilla smoothie. So like I tried to catch it. Like I put it on the stove and I was wiping it off, wiping it down because COVID and everything. So, and it was in a styrofoam type cup and it slid and I caught it by the between my body and the stove. And so I smashed it because I put too much weight. So it took me forever to clean a tiny little shake. So I'm not gonna clean a kitchen, especially with flour. Oh my God. I mean, just even today I found more mess that I missed, 5 feet away.
You see my floors? I don't have flour on them.
Yeah, no flour. You'll have flour there forever.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, here we go. Because you and I, we talk about music a lot. And I know your favorite band from the 80s. So what I would like to know is, what is your favorite song from the 80s and from the 90s? Boom. Go.
It's really difficult to ask a child of the 80s to pick one song from the 80s.
Because it was brilliant. It was a brilliant time for music. 100%. I agree with you.
There's so much. Relax has got to be one of the biggest ones for me.
Pretty good.
Kids in America, anything by the Go-Go's, anything by Pat Benatar. God, there's so much. Sheena Easton. I had a huge poster of Sheena Easton on my wall. I had such a crush.
Sheila E. for me. Ooh,
Sheila E. Yep. Prince. Yeah. Any Prince stuff. George Michael.
Oh yeah, Wham.
So much. There was so much.
Bohemian we had the best decade.
Come on. And there's the thing I loved about the 80s was that you could go from super pop Debbie Gibson to Guns N' Roses, and it was all really good. Everything in between. Yeah. I'm not a heavy metalhead, but I will listen to Welcome to the Jungle till the cows come home. I know. And I love a lot of cotton candy pop stuff. Give me Debbie Gibson, give me Tiffany, give me all that crap. I will listen to it. I will dance to it. Samantha Fox. Oh my God, remember Samantha Fox?
Yes, Naughty. Was it Naughty Girl? I know. Listen, I have a watch.
God, she had the boobs. She was beautiful. Good Lord, the 80s were the best. I know Tony from the 90s because I was still in the 80s.
I spent 30 years in the 80s. I know everything about me.
Exactly.
This is a true story. One of my friends, she made it to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I was her contact for anything 80s or pop culture 80 meters. I was right by the phone waiting for that call because hands down, I mean, I know everything there is. And just the other day on Facebook, MJ Williams posted a Whitesnake, like a little meme about Whitesnake.
Yep.
Tawny Katane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love her. On the Jags, I mean, twirling. I mean, she was our dream. Now she's a fucking hot mess. But back then, she was
so hot. Oh
I know. She was fantastic. Yes. So, I think if I had, I love, I can name that tune in 2 notes. Any song from the 80s, pick it, I'll name it, I'll be on your group. I should be your first pick on any sort of
Trivia.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm going to have to say, and I don't even know that this is 80s. I'm going to have to Google this. But
tell me what it is first.
For sure, my favorite song, I loved it, was Against All Odds by Phil Collins.
Yeah, that's 80s.
Is it 80s? I was probably later 80s. I think I was driving at the time, so it was later 80s. But I just love that song so much because I'm such a romantic, you know. And I love 80s for the techno and the dance music and the beat, but also there's like that song has always been with me. I always thought that was a fantastic song. It's a beautiful song, you know, and think about how often that happens in your life.
It's a movie too. Did you see the movie?
Yeah, I saw the movie, of course. The movie was meh, but Rachel Ward, yay, you know. The scene in the scene in the whatever that was, the ruins or whatever. Yeah, that was an amazing scene. Yeah, for sure. So, but I mean, just the song. I mean, think about how many regrets we have in life and how many times the perfect person got away or we never had the chance with the perfect person. And I always think of that song, and it's so true. And it's like I'm singing True by Spandau Ballet, but you know,
love that song.
So everything to me is an 80s song. I can relate to anything in my life to an 80s song for sure. Let's see here. What is one thing you've always wanted to do but could never master?
Well, I'm working on that now, and that's play the piano. And I am doing okay. I will never master it because I waited too long. I mean, I started when I was, I don't want to say, but it's only been
a couple years ago.
And I'm okay. I mean, I'm learning, but learning as an adult is really difficult. I was in the band in school from 4th grade to 8th grade. So I used to be able to play a trumpet. I wanted to play the drums. My mother nixed that.
All mothers nix the drums. Yes. There's no way I could play the drums.
I have some great rhythm. I could play the drums right now. I still could. But so I could read music from like 4th grade to 8th grade, but that was like forever ago. And so now I'm learning it over again, and it's literally another language. So I'm learning another language. And when you start that at my age, it does not absorb very well. So I do okay. I have trouble playing with both hands at the same time.
Really?
Yes, I can get this going and then I can do this part of it, but to get them at the same time, because first of all, they do two different things. And second of all, notes are different. So the notes for this hand are A, B, C, D, E, and the notes for this hand are F, G, H, A, and you have to read them at the same time. And but I'm working on it. I have an electronic piano and
nice.
And I'm doing the best I can, and I'm enjoying it, and I have an awesome teacher.
See, you can see right here. Here's mine.
The problem with, there you go.
So, but the problem is I can't read music. I cannot read music. Never.
With having an awesome teacher is that we talk a lot. It's hard. Reading music is hard.
Yeah, it is. And I never mastered it. And I cheated in music class. I had my friend take my test for me, so she could do it in like 10 seconds and give it back. And like the teacher, I think he knew, but he didn't care because we were like straight A students. But
someone is best.
I can't read music. I can't, but I can play by ear. I can't not read music. Can't do it.
I'm good at that. And that's one of my useless talents. I can hear, and this not so much anymore because radio and everything is all different, but
right.
When I was with Bonnie, we were first together. So this was in the early to mid 90s. I could hear a song on the radio, a new song, and I would tell you if it was going to be a success or not. I should have been a music producer.
You should have been.
I could pick, like, no doubt. The first time I heard Don't Speak, I was like, they are gonna go far. When Evanescence came out with
Bring Me to Life, what?
Bring Me to Life, yes. Woo-hoo. And first of all, she's freaking
beautiful.
I
know.
She is a brilliant music arranger. But when I heard that song, I was like, that's gonna go to number one. Yeah. And it did. I have a really good ear for music.
I love music too.
Like I said, not so much anymore because it's so different now with the online and the iTunes, and there's so many more. But when it was radio, I was good at picking who was going to be successful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Amy. She had pretty blue eyes. So my first girlfriend ever, she had really dark hair and bright blue eyes. I mean, super light blue eyes. Mm-hmm. And so everybody always knew, like in her town, when I would go visit, she was in Connecticut. So whenever I would go visit, they would always say, "Oh, are you an Egan?" And I guess that was the thing. The whole family, everybody in the family had dark hair and bright blue eyes. And so they knew her just by the way she looked and her eyes and everything.
Was your first girlfriend Zena?
Not even
Okay.
close. No.
Just curious.
No, she was about my size, not very tall. Okay, so let's see what else. What other questions do we have here? How about 3 things you can't live without?
You know what? That's so hard. I have been thinking about that question all week. And it's like, okay, do I want to be superficial and be
just
like
be yourself?
My
just like
cat, my lip gloss, and
and your phone.
My phone, right?
Right.
Cheese.
Cheese is fantastic. Cheese, wine.
I'm trying. I so want to get away from dairy because the dairy industry horrifies me, but I can't get away from cheese.
I know. Like I haven't had so forever, like when I was in my 20s, I was like diehard vegetarian. I couldn't be vegan, but I was vegetarian. And then I was an octo-lacto vegetarian. And then I had to eat chicken, or I had to eat something. I had to get protein. Back then they didn't have the protein shakes and everything, when Egan, my girlfriend, she was a vegetarian. So she got me into it. Of course, we're always influenced by people that we're attracted to and stuff. And we do things to please them and stuff. So I was a vegetarian for like freaking 20 years just to please my girlfriend. But at the same time, it was a good thing. So now, like, I'll eat chicken once in a while. I'll eat poultry once in a while. I don't like fish. I'm a land person. I'm not around the ocean ever. I can't do fish. So every so often I'll have like turkey, some sort of turkey or chicken. But for the most part, it's been out of my just my whole entire eating habits. It's been out of my eating habits for so long. But cheese and milk, I love dairy. I love milk. I'm a milk person. Like nobody drinks milk. Very few people. And Ashley, my editor, gives me a hard time because I'll say something in my books about milk, and she's like, "No adult drinks milk." I'm scratching this, and I'm like, I fucking love milk. I drink it all the time. Like milk and cookies, I'm in.
We are the only species that drinks the milk of another species.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. And I have moved from that. I will do almond milk. I'll do soy milk. I'll do oat milk. I put half and half in my tea, and I'm trying to get away from that. But there is no non-dairy creamer that is as good as half and half. So I'm trying to get away from that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get away from cheese, but vegan cheese is awful.
It's horrible. I can't do it.
You can tell me that you have a vegan cheese that's delicious.
And you're lying. I know. Agreed. It's horrible. I've tried it all too. I've been down that path.
My niece is lactose intolerant. So she's always like, "Georgia, here, try this cheese. I found this great cheese." And I'm always like, it's not great.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's not. It was so funny. The first time, what was it that I had? Oh, that was sushi. So that wasn't cheese. But first time I had sushi, I couldn't get it. Like she had, one of my friends had a sushi, piece of sushi. And sushi is actually the rice. It's not really the seafood. It's the rice. And
it's the way it's made.
The whole, right. So she had something, it was like a tuna one. It was horrible. I couldn't get it out of my mouth fast enough. But that has happened with some of the vegan stuff. Yeah.
I don't like raw tuna.
I don't like any fish.
But not in a sushi. Tuna is, bleh.
No. I'm out on that. Like food, here's the deal. So we could lose weight if we were on a deserted island together, because really, what would we eat?
I like fish. You're not eating fish. I'm eating fish.
I'm eating coconuts or something. I'm drinking the milk and I'm eating the coconut. That's it. That's all I'm eating, coconuts, which is not good for your digestive system.
Right. What's not?
Coconut. Like too much coconut is not good for you. You froze.
Coconut? Yeah.
You froze. I can't hear you. Are you there?
I'm not saying anything. You froze.
Your fault.
I'm actually on my wrong. I have a 2G and a 5G, and I'm on my 2G, and I should be on my 5G, but I didn't want to switch it over in the middle of recording.
Oh, really? Why?
I should switch it.
You should switch it. You should switch it. Switch it. See what happens.
I should switch it, but I'm afraid it'll cut us out, and I don't know if it'll mess up the recording.
Okay.
I switch it.
I did like
for some reason. Well, most houses have a 2G and a 5G because the old electronic devices, like I have a flat screen TV downstairs that's I bought it when I moved out, so it's 4 years old. That registers the 2G. My newer TV in the bedroom registers the 5G. So once I have a newer TV downstairs, then it'll move to the 5G. But until that, I have to keep the 2G. It's ridiculous. Oh. It's
Hold, please. One moment, please. Apparently, we have somebody here. Hi, stay. Apparently, we've been talking too much because she's getting a little restless.
Hi, Molly.
Say hi.
Hi, baby.
Hi. She's like, nope, I want nothing to do with anybody. You're going to have to be quiet, okay? I know. So
no, I'm talk. I think she should talk.
All of a sudden, I look over and she's dancing on the couch, and I'm like, why? What is she doing? What's wrong with her? It's probably because I'm laughing. And she can't hear anything because I'm using my AirPods, and she's used to, what are you smelling? And
so she's not sure what you're doing. She's like, why is mom talking to nobody?
Right. And there's no TV on. Usually I have the TV on for her because it calms her down. You know, it makes her feel like, you know, there's other people in the room, and that's not the case. So I'm sure she's kind of wigging out. And I had this really fun contraption on how to keep the computer up in the living room like this.
Nifty.
Because my office is dreadfully yellow. It's like a buttercream yellow. And it makes me look even worse than even paler.
It washes you out.
Yeah, it washes me out even more. So I save that for work Zooms. Yeah. But like anything I do, I either go into my bedroom or I do it here. Mm-hmm. And so I figured this way I could get more light in if I do it this way. Yeah. So I'll just hold Molly the whole time. Okay, what is your favorite flower?
Probably, I'm going to be way boring and say red roses, but I also love lilacs.
Lilacs are good.
And I love the smell of, what's the hyacinths. The first thing that comes up in the spring here is a hyacinth. And they have,
really?
Yeah, and they're super strong. The smell is just super strong, and it's lovely, and I love it.
Oh, I thought it was a crocus.
Those two, but hyacinths are like, they look like lilacs coming out of the ground.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm really bad at flowers.
At the same time, they're the first ones.
I'm bad at flowers, but I do love tulips. So they're my favorite flowers. I love tulips.
Yep, and I love daisies, and I love dahlias.
So my nickname is Daisy. I think you know that. My nickname is Daisy, and I have a tattoo of Daisy, just because that's my nickname. So there you go.
Why is it your nickname?
So that's an interesting question. When I was my first girlfriend, the Egan that I was talking about earlier, I said something really innocent, and she called me a daisy. And so I didn't realize it at the time that a daisy is actually before Girl Scout, before Brownie. There's daisies.
Oh, really?
And they're like, 3 and 4 year olds. They're called daisies.
Okay.
So
I was never a daisy.
Yeah, so there's daisy before the brownie. Okay. And you okay? And so I got the name Daisy because I said something really innocent and pure. And so anyway, so I got the name Daisy, and everybody calls me Daisy.
Well, there you go.
So I will actually respond when somebody says Daisy. And I hate that I do, but I do. I'm like, oh, somebody knows my name. So yes. Let's see, what else here? We'll put that one down. What other questions do we have? Have you ever had any wardrobe malfunctions? With the Super Bowl coming up again, we have to ask this question.
I don't think so.
No.
No. Have you?
No. Usually I dress pretty modestly.
Yeah,
I never. So I don't. I'm gonna put her. See, I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Leaving? Okay.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Sit down, baby girl. Sit down. Good job. Lay down. Lay down. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I've had a wardrobe malfunction. Sit down, baby. Sit down. She's not happy with me.
Well, I mean, it's been an hour. We can certainly do a couple more questions and wrap up so she can have your attention.
She probably just needs to go to the restroom. You remember that French fry we were talking about?
Yeah.
Before we started this, yeah, the French fry might be coming back. Lay down. I'll be there in just a minute. Strangest thing you've ever eaten? Steak.
I'm not really good with that. I mean, I eat a lot of stuff, but I'm not like, you know, that show, Bizarre Food.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That girl. I am not the girl who's gonna, I don't, forgive the sexual nature of this, but I don't put a lot of things in my mouth if I don't know what they are.
What was that show? The Fear Factor. Do you remember Fear Factor?
Oh, no way. Absolutely not. Nope.
How about eat a scorpion and get $20,000 or whatever? I'm not going to do that. That is not me for sure. Like, I'm not going to eat a bug.
But I'm not a picky eater. I'm not a picky eater. I'll try most things.
Nah,
but not like insects and no.
Yeah, I'm too old for that. I've you know, I know what I like. I'm not really an adventurous type person. That's not me.
My grandma made snails when I was little, and I think I'd eat those, but I wouldn't eat them now.
So I won't eat anything that somebody has made. It would have to be for restaurant. I mean, yeah, somebody makes it, but I don't want to see them make it, and I don't want to know that they made it.
Really?
Thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Like snails, I don't think I would trust anybody with snails.
They're not good. Don't eat them.
No, yeah, I don't want to. Ugh.
I mean, they're snails.
I tried a oyster one time. I tried an oyster. I don't know how people can eat oysters.
Well, because you don't chew it. You just slurp it down.
But then why do you slurp it down? Because you can't taste it. All you're tasting is like hot sauce. I mean, just put hot sauce on a piece of bread.
Oyster. It's about the brine. It's about the brine. It's not about the oyster itself.
Whatever it is, I don't like it.
I actually like oysters.
Yeah, I'm out. I did try a Rockefeller. It was cooked. It was cooked, and I could eat that. Like raw foods, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
And that's probably the Midwestern girl in me.
You're a steak girl.
For sure. Well, I guess Molly's like, I guess I got to take her out. She's being very unsettled, so I probably need to take her out. So I should probably wrap this up.
That's all right.
Look at those ears. Oh, say hi. She's like, nope, I need to pee. So anyway, thank you very much for spending the evening with us. She is adorable. I love her.
Thank you.
This is so much fun. We should do this more. But I appreciate this. I really do. And I know that people are happy to have you on and to hear about Georgia Beard's Behind the Books. And we didn't even get to talk about your book. What book is coming out? You have a poet book coming out.
Yes, The Secret Poet comes out in April. So that's very soon. And currently 16 Steps to Forever is available. And then after The Secret Poet is my next series, The Swizzle Stick Romances. So I am writing the second one right now. The first one is in editing. So yeah, those are fun. This
is the first time I've heard about this. So this is the first time a lot of people are hearing about this.
Yeah, it's about 3 cousins. It's about the Martini cousins, Julia, Vanessa, and Amelia. And Julia owns a bar called Martinis, and they all hang out in the back room. That's where they hang. And each book is about one of their love lives, and I'm really having a good time with it. Plus,
I love that.
Different drinks and stuff in there.
Of course you're gonna have drinks. It's funny. I'm writing a book now. It's called Always, and it takes my character to Italy. So she's a private investigator, and she's in Italy just to try to find somebody. And it's funny because I always think of you. And like whenever there's something like if somebody's being too Italian, I always picture you about how you're always talking about your mom and your family. And so I'm like, oh, okay. Exactly. So you're in this book a lot. So
Italian.
Yep. So thank you. Have a good evening. And we will, of course, all read your books because we love you. And we appreciate that you've done so much for Lesfic and lesbian romance. I love you. And I hope you have a great evening. And we'll talk soon.
You too. Bye, Mom.
Okay. Say bye. Bye. She's like, take me out. I'll see you. Bye.